So just over a week ago while I was in Europe, I had a couple supporters of the channel send me a few emails containing some video clips of a run-in between some Cuban refugees and a cruise ship, two cruise ships in fact. Now, I'll be honest with you, at first I didn't really pay any mind to it because to me this is something that happens frequently and has been frequent over the past couple years, this year in particular. So I do believe here on this channel showing you guys interesting content that I think is going to bring you value and something I think all of you are going to watch. And having replaying these situations over and over again to me just kind of got repetitive. However, I was in a different state of mind while I was over in Europe. I'll explain in a minute. But just coming back home and looking at these clips again, it really kind of struck something inside of me that really made me think about a specific comment that somebody made while I was with the valiant lady over in Europe. Anyway, I'm going to play the first clip for you guys and then we'll talk in a minute. And I got to be honest with you, it's kind of horrific and there is a little bit of profanity. I will do my best to kind of blur it out and well, we'll go from there.
Damas y caballeros, su atención por favor. Nos hemos aproximado al barco de migrantes y estamos proporcionándoles asistencia temporal mientras esperamos la llegada de los equipos de búsqueda y rescate.
Oh, fuck. Jesus Christ. Jesus. Yep, he's throwing them water and life preservers. They're going, they're not stopping. They aren't staying around.
So this particular situation took place on September 7th, and the ship that was involved was the MSC Divina. Now this might sound familiar because just about a week or so ago, I did another video about the same ship, the MSC Divina, involved in a situation when it came to Cuban refugees trying to flee their country to go over to the United States. Well, this is the same ship in the exact same cruise. Apparently, there were two situations where there was one where I showed you where the lifeboat that was trying to talk to the refugees ended up somehow backing up and basically crashing into the MSC Divina. A couple days later, they had another run-in with a bunch of refugees, and well, as you saw in the video clip, it looks like what appears to be some kids that were jumping off of the boat that they were on in order to try to go to the lifeboat from MSC in order to be rescued. However, the MSC, for whatever reason, the lifeboat ends up backing up, and I don't know what the situation is. I understand stuff like that can be very tense. You never know. The refugees could have weapons. Maybe they could have just been kids, and they legally cannot just take kids away from their parents, regardless if they want to be saved or not. But my point to all this is, guys, I just finished traveling to 13 different countries and going on 3 separate cruises. And I got to be honest with you, I did a lot of partying. I made some good decisions. I made some bad decisions. I was gone for 2 months. And I don't know if any of you have ever traveled like that. I've been doing it since I was an adult, since I was 18 years old. And when you're gone for that long, it can really kind of mess with your mind. And there were parts of that, big moments in that journey that I just took, where I kind of felt like I was on top of the world. I was untouchable. I can go where I want, when I want. And that was me speaking from a point of privilege. Meanwhile, I was going to places like Tunisia, North Africa, and parts of Italy, and I would see people that were homeless, people that were in need, and just seeing these clips again and seeing those kids jump over to hopefully be rescued even though they weren't able to, and then inevitably it turned out that they just end up giving that group of people some food and water, making sure they were okay, and life preservers. It really hit me and made me think about a lot. Now, I do want to share more of my thoughts. However, I do want to show you the other clip that I have as well. This time it was on a Virgin Voyages ship, and the refugees ended up getting rescued in this particular case.
I'm sorry. Giovanni speaking for the bridge. So the operation to welcome the refugees been done. Now we are going full blast outside Key West when U.S. Coast Guard cutter is coming out, and we're going to debark, and then we proceed to Bimini, and we will be on time tomorrow morning to our as per schedule.
So this particular event took place on September 15th, and it involved the Scarlet Lady cruise ship. There were some refugees that had a makeshift life raft, and well, it looked like it was on its last leg, so they ended up rescuing these people, and they ended up boarding the ship. And what will happen from there, the Coast Guard will get involved, and then the cruise line will turn these people over to the Coast Guard, and well, unfortunately, they will probably end up being returned back over to Cuba, and they will not be able to seek asylum in the United States. It's a very sad story often. But when it comes to Virgin Voyages, I recently, well, it was about a month ago now, I was on Virgin Voyages Valiant Lady sailing out of Barcelona. going to places like Cannes and Ibiza, and I'll be honest with you, it was a wild time. That's a big reason why I didn't put out a full video on that particular cruise. But anyway, there was a situation where we found a boat in the middle of the ocean. Thankfully, it turned out to be empty. However, our ship did have to inevitably turn around to check and make sure due to maritime law. Maritime law states that if there is a boat or ship or vessel in distress, anybody that is in the area automatically has to go turn around and offer some type of help if they can, offer aid if possible, or rescue. But anyway, we went over to see the boat was empty. However, I heard some passengers on the side of me just kind of getting somewhat frustrated and angry because at that time we were headed over to Ibiza and everybody was excited, myself included. And I didn't really think about it at the time, but I heard a passenger say, man, if we have to go rescue some people, I hope we don't because they are going to ruin our cruise and we're going to get to Ibiza late. And for me, I thought about just in general, people need help, possibly. What kind of person really says that they're worried about their vacation getting ruined because somebody else needs to be rescued? It kind of bothered me, not at the time, but just thinking about it now and everything that I do now and where we are now. I really just think that people need to humble themselves. I'd had a lot of humbling to do when I was over in Europe. I was around some friends that I hadn't seen in years. Some of them were doing okay. Some of them were doing a lot better than I was. And well, just after that whole experience that I just went through, I really sat down and thought like, man, this world is unfair. That is the reality of the situation, and we shouldn't blame other people for wanting to seek a better life. And if they can find some help, be it a cruise ship, Coast Guard, anybody, then by all means, it should be able to be done because there are a lot of people out there that unfortunately do not have the luck or privilege or opportunities that we have, especially over here in the United States, if that's where you guys are currently viewing this video from. Anyway, of course, these situations are never good. It does seem like it is kind of increasing, especially over in places like the Caribbean. And hopefully there is a solution sooner rather than later. But I don't want to make this video any kind of rant or anything like that. This is just something that I thought that maybe it's something I should talk about because being back home now, I've been just kind of thinking about a lot of things. I've been humbled in a lot of ways. This has been by far the best and worst year of my entire life. And I do my best to try to, of course, grow my channel, grow the business, and just kind of move forward. But I also believe here on this channel, two things, that travel is the best teacher, without a doubt. I love traveling, and I do my best to also give all of you the best entertaining and most valuable content as possible. So either way, I am going to leave it right there, guys. Of course, let me know your thoughts about all this in the comment section below. I know this video isn't exactly going to be for everyone, but I am not a people pleaser. I'm not trying to please everyone. I just talk about what I think is on my mind and what I think you guys are going to watch. Anywho, just know that I love and appreciate every single one of you. Of course, on your way off, if you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see all of you later. Take it easy.